Hello there, and thanks for joining us on this video today. Today I'm joined by the lovely Andy Sage. Hey Andy.
Hi everyone.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Doing great, thanks. Great to hear from you.
Cool. And the purpose of today's video is Andy's joining us. I'm really excited. Thank you for accepting our invitation, Andy, to join us for the Tantra Love Festival in California in September this year. Now, just to make a little point here, I'm in Thailand, Koh Phangan, as I'm filming this. Where are you, Andy?
I'm in London at the moment, and it's
How's the weather there?
winter, I'm afraid. Wet as usual.
I'm just teasing. So listen, today's video was to give people a chance to meet you and to hear a little bit more about you. And my first question is, yeah, tell me about you. Tell me what you offer.
So basically, I do a few different things. Tantra could be one word to describe it, and body flow massage is the thing I developed over a few years,
Yes.
which is about using your body energy in massage. So bringing the idea of chakras, and especially heart energy and love,
Yes.
into massage practice.
Yes. And for me, I'm delighted that you accepted our invitation because for me, you're one of the pioneers of this work. For me, you started this 10, 15 years before I started teaching. And for me, I think you led the way in the UK and Europe. And I know you've taught all over the world. Maybe you could say a bit about that.
Yeah, well, I started because when I arrived in London in the 90s, I found that the community was not as loving and open. It was very sexualized, but if you wanted to ask for a hug, people thought there was something wrong with you.
Yes.
And I was
Yes.
disappointed in that. And so I started running workshops essentially to create a community of men who could communicate and ask for hugs and talk about how they felt. And it sort of just built from there. I didn't think I would, all these years later, still be running the workshops, but they seem to be just as important as they were back then.
Yes, yes. Tell me about the types of workshops that you do.
So one of the workshops I'm doing is called Body Flow Massage.
Cool.
And this is a massage practice that's on the floor, and
Yes.
it's using different parts of the body. So not just the hands, but the elbows, the chest, and sometimes the full body. And it's really about connection, creating a sense of connection and trust, and building from there, and almost a bit like a dance. It can move into a kind of dance on the floor. And it's a beautiful massage and ends up feeling like the giver and the receiver are both somehow receiving this loving energy.
And we're going to talk about that more in one of our later videos. So if you're interested to hear more about body flow, we're going to talk about that in much more depth. Because that's actually a massage that, for me, you created and is your part of your brand.
Exactly, yes.
Yes.
And I wanted something that you could do anywhere. So you
Yes.
don't need any tools, literally just a floor space, and you can do this massage.
But body flow isn't just what you offer, right?
No, I'm also teaching relationship skills and intimacy,
Yes.
using Betty Martin's Wheel of Consent that many people have heard of these days.
Yes.
And creating a space which is about holding loving energy.
Yeah, yeah. Beautiful. And so you said earlier in the interview, you were saying that you arrived in London in the 1990s.
Yeah.
And you said that there wasn't really, that you said it was very sexualized, but there wasn't much else contact. What kind of made you or called you to kind of start offering something?
It was really for my own needs, actually. I found that
Yes.
I wasn't getting what I wanted, wasn't having my needs met. It
Yes.
felt like if I wanted to get a hug, I had to have sex first with somebody.
Yes.
And yeah, I just didn't feel that what I wanted was out there. So I started to create it running workshops. And at that time, I felt like I was the only one in the world doing this. And I
you
felt
probably
like
were.
Yeah.
Well, and you probably were in the UK and Europe. It was kind of, I guess, pre what we've seen in the last like 10 years, where there's much more choice available.
Yeah, well, later, a few years after I started, I then met Joseph Kramer and Chester Maynard, and
Yes.
it was a relief to find that there were other people who had similar ideas and were, doing work in the same field.
Yeah,
And then I went on to do sacred intimacy training with the Body Electric School, which was great. That just honed in some of my skills.
And be fair to say that you've taught all around the world?
Pretty much,
Yeah,
yes.
just give us a little run through.
I love to be invited, and it's really great to feel the different cultures, and it's also really reassuring to feel that this one thing about love and connection is the thing that seems to be true everywhere that I go.
Yes.
And very quickly, everyone seems ready and willing to enter into a space where this is possible.
But you've taught in South America, in the USA, definitely
Yes.
in Europe, Australia.
Yeah, Australia, South Africa, and yeah, Switzerland and the rest of Europe. It's been great, actually. I've really enjoyed traveling and doing this as part of my work, spreading a message of love, you could say.
And for me, you know, starting 10 years ago, Andy, I really look up to you and I really love you and I really respect the experience, the knowledge, and the way you just create really beautiful spaces.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I
And
enjoy doing it, and it brings me as much, I think, as it does the participants. So that's why I'm still doing this work and still loving every minute of it.
so tell me your favourite things that you love.
Um, I suppose it's the idea that when you start a workshop and everyone is a little bit tense, a little bit nervous,
Yes.
and suddenly something shifts in the energy, and people realize they have permission to be themselves. And suddenly this wave of relaxation starts, and then people start to really open up and connect. And then it's a big sigh of relief. And it's like, ah, yes, this is what the world can be, because there's so much out there saying that, you know, it's a difficult world or it's a dangerous world.
Yes.
And actually,
Yes.
inside each of us, there is this true kind of loving heart. This is a moment where you can open up, and it's okay to do so.
Yes.
And it's the same process every time, every place I see a workshop. This seems to be the process that happens.
Yes. And you came and taught at the UK Tantra Love Festival in August last year?
That's right. Oh, in a beautiful venue in Glastonbury, a kind of spiritual heart of the UK.
Yes.
I really loved that, and it was a very different kind of energy in a festival. Very
Yes.
exciting. Lots of different people there,
Yeah.
and lots of different types of work that was coming together, and I
Yeah.
liked that very much.
I did too. I love it. That's the reason why we're bringing this to California. So, Andy, thank you so much for joining me today. And as I said, I'm really delighted and my deepest gratitude that you're coming all this way. Thank you.
I'm looking forward to seeing you all at the California Tantra for Gay Men Festival.
Lovely. Thank you. Tantra Love Festival, California.
Thank you. Bye-bye.